welcome to the end of week 7 of my CodeCrew Code School journey. This video is going to be like last week's video in that it's just going to be like an audio recording basically. I am going to throw some stuff on the screen throughout the video, so keep an eye out for that. But it's a lot easier to edit these when it's just audio and a few, pop-ups. So I think I might start doing all of them like this, but we'll see how it works out. So we're just gonna jump right in. If you remember from my last video, this week was my portfolio presentation. I did not show you guys my portfolio at all last video because I knew that I'd make some small changes and I wanted to, see how it was received basically before I put it on the internet for real. And the presentation went very well. I really like public speaking. I really like giving presentations. I really like talking about things I'm passionate about, hence a 10-minute video every single week about school. But right now I'm going to give you guys the abbreviated presentation so that I can walk you through my portfolio. So I'm going to throw the home screen or the about page or whatever onto the screen. And when you come to my portfolio, this is the first page. Every page is set up in the same way with the page title, the navigation bar, some content, and then on either side a previous page and next page button. The navigation bar is icons, and on hover, those icons turn into the name of the page that you would navigate to, and they're all, clickable links. And I'll show an example for the reflections page, which is what these are. It's a YouTube button, and when you hover on it, it becomes the word reflections. Super cute. And then the next page, previous page button just kind of rotates through the pages in the order that I would prefer that the user read them, but obviously they can skip around with the navigation bar. Anyways, after the About page, it's Skills, which just has a list of my skills, and Education, which has a brief description of CodeCrew. And then, and on hover, those two sections kind of it's called Pulse, CSS Animate Pulse, and they just, kind of become bigger when you move your mouse over it. Just a really simple, dynamic element to add a little interest to the page. And after Skills, it's Resume. And it's an iframe of my resume, PDF, and it's at a legible size, which is why it takes up more than, the normal screen size, so that you can read it without having to open it or download it. But you can also open it or download it from the iframe or from the link at the bottom, which y'all can't see. And after that is Projects. I don't have it in front of me because the noise of me moving around on my computer would be annoying. So I'm going off the top of my head, but after that is probably Projects, and I just have a grid of my projects. There's only 2 on there, and they were just some mini projects that we did in the class. And you can click on the image or on the link to go to the project. Right now it links to the Git repository, but I'm trying to figure out how to get it to link straight to that HTML file. I don't know if I can do that. We'll see. And after that is Reflections, which like I said is what these are. And there's a link to each YouTube video per week. And there's a written description that goes over the languages that we covered. And finally, there's a Contact Me page, which just has an embedded Google form where you can type in, name, email, message. That way I don't have to put my personal email address, on the site. So I loved this project. I talked extensively about it in my last video, so I'm not going to camp out on it this video, but I was very proud of it. I put in a lot of work, and I think that it really paid off. So that was just Monday though, and we had 4 more days to fill with brand new material. So we went over Backend this week. So the portfolio that I just showed y'all was all front end. It was just HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript. Well, back end is different, and I can't even use the right terminology, but it's like the meat and potatoes of web design. and it's hard. Well, it's different. I shouldn't say that it's hard. It's definitely different. So we worked with Django, and we were following a Django tutorial that was like on their website, basically, and we walked through like the basics of using Django and Python to create projects and apps. Those are all the right words. So I'm not going to camp out too much on it because we only went over like 2 or 3 things. But I am going to pop some stuff on the screen just to show like what we're working with here. So the first thing, I'm not going to put this on the screen, but the first thing that we have is the project. So you make a Django project, and within that project, you make an application. And you can have several applications in one project, but for everything we've been doing, it's been one application per one project. So in the application, we have URLs, and I will put that up there. The URLs are like the names of the actual like URL in the web browser. And when you call that name, so if you typed in www.google/pizza or whatever, this example might be terrible, but like there would be a path for pizza in URLs, if that makes sense. And the paths in the URLs file links to views, and the views are like, they're all functions, and they call something on your path, you know. So in the URLs file, you have the path, which is named, and then you're calling like the function, and then the function is defined in the views file. Now, the functions for the first 4 days didn't do anything but print something to the page so that we know the function ran, or add things to the model, which I'm not going to discuss super in depth because it doesn't follow the order that I've started. But in the last day, we had the views functions actually render HTML files, which is the last thing that I'm going to throw on the screen. And if we have content in the function that we're calling via the path and the URL, then we can pass that data in. And we can, do other dynamic things with it. But essentially, it's an app and a project, and the app has files like URLs, views, and like HTML files. And all of those things communicate with the server, or maybe we are the server. All of those things produce a web page and also interact with data, which is the models that I kind of breezed over. But essentially the models is like, an example they used a lot was like if you're creating a new user for a web page, so you'll have a model and the parameters would be, name, birthday, and email address. And, millions of users can use that model to create unique items, which are themselves like their own login pages. And from there, they can load, specific content, basically. So, and then we can dynamically deal with models in the views file and then render based on that content from, our HTML files, which are called templates. That's the word. So we can render via our templates, our HTML templates. So this video has not been quite as clear and concise and comprehensive as my others, but it's just, we're moving slowly into Backend, and it's definitely new concepts, new material, but I say this every week, it's still exciting and it's still fun, and I'm interested to see where front end and back end meet, because we just added HTML files on Friday of this week. So I assume that just playing around with those HTML files more is pretty much the crossover that I've been waiting for. But that's pretty much the week. It was good. I learned a lot more than I expected to learn in 4 days, and I was really happy with the presentation. So as always, I will keep you guys updated.